Welcome to the Four podcast.
Are you really? Are you trying to do your best, Gordon Hayward?
I'm trying to do my best in honor of a basketball podcast. I'm gonna do my Jimmy Butler impression here.
Okay, your best emo hairdo.
It's my best emo Jimmy Butler impression.
There you go. Okay, Dave. Well, here we are. It is blistery December evening, and we're going to talk about some NBA basketball players again. The last time we talked about NBA basketball players, it was the top 4 NBA players in the 2000s, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, and we're going to have a lot more fun tonight. If any of the viewers out there if you haven't already, then like and subscribe to the channel. Please do. We want to keep getting these numbers up here. And Dave, I hope you're sitting down because I got some hot takes. I hope you're wearing some like fireproof clothes or something.
I am sitting down. I just want to point out real quick that YouTube sent us a certificate for surpassing 20 subscribers. We're currently at 25 right now. If we get to the 50 subscriber mark, YouTube's going to email us another certificate. So I'm looking forward to that possibility. So help us out and support us a little bit.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Well, tonight we're talking about the top 4 Lakers of all time. Now, Dave, you might be wondering to yourself, are we going to talk about the top 4 players who are considered Lakers their entire career and made the franchise what it is? Or are we going to talk about the top 4 players who happen to be on the Lakers team? You know, maybe they played for another team, a la one LeBron James. So right there, we're going to start with LeBron James at number 1. We're going to start at number 1.
You didn't give me a chance to speculate on what we're talking about. So my guess would have been that we're going to talk about players that played for the Lakers for at least several years to be considered a Laker. If you're a 1-year rental player, you're not a Laker. If you're there for at least 3 years, I think that would qualify you as a Laker.
It's more of greatest players who also played for the Lakers.
Okay, I can see that. Proceed.
Yeah, so we've got the greatest basketball player, right? You know, Michael Jordan might be better than LeBron. And
whoa. Are we starting at number 4?
We're starting at number 1, Dave. We're starting at number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Let's rewind. You're okay. Starting right at number 1. I think we should start at number 4 and work our way to number 1.
No, we're starting at number 1, Dave. Number 1, we're going backward on this one. Backward.
All right. Number 1 is LeBron.
LeBron James. Now, I get it. He played for the Heat and the Cavs before this, and he's only been on the Lakers for 5 years. They won an NBA championship. Some consider that might have an asterisk next to it.
It's a COVID championship. Yeah.
COVID championship. But they won, and he brought another title to Tinseltown. So the fact that LeBron plays for the Lakers, that's just it. I think you could do this top 4 ranking in so many different ways, and you can interpret it in different ways. But for tonight's exercise, we're talking about the best players that happen to play for the Lakers. Now, he's played 21 seasons so far. He's averaging his famous 27, 7, and 7. So 27.2 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7.3 assists. He's played 1,448 regular season games. He's been an all-star 19 times. He was rookie of the year, 4 MVPs, on and on and on and on we could go. But Dave, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, technically, yeah. I mean, LeBron James is a Laker, and I think people will remember him as a Laker. He's played enough years. He brought them a championship. He's had some struggles there. I don't think it's necessarily his fault, but he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. So it makes sense that he'd have to be one of the greatest Laker of all time. I'm just kind of surprised you didn't pick somebody that was like purely a Laker to
today, Junior,
take over his spot at number 1. But I'm not going to disagree with him being number 1.
Almost purely, Dave. I'm going to move on to number 2. Should I give you any guesses here? Is this the opportunity I give you to guess?
Man, I don't want to ruin things, but my guess would be you're going to say Magic Johnson.
I am not going to say Magic Johnson. That's what's so crazy about the Los Angeles Lakers. They've got several different players who have played for their franchise who probably for 15 different franchises in the NBA could be considered better than any of their franchise players. So that's pretty incredible. It's not Magic Johnson. It's Kareem Abdul Jabar, formerly known as Lou Alcindor. And the guy was incredible. He was the all-time point leader. He played 20 seasons. He played for the Bucks and also the Los Angeles Lakers. He averaged 24.6 points, 11.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists, which for a big man is a pretty good number, and 2.5 blocks in 1,560 games. He was selected to 19 All-Star games like LeBron. He won 2 Finals MVPs, yada, yada, yada. Some people say that Kareem could be considered the best NBA player of all time, which I don't think that's a crazy argument. Of course, Jordan is firmly rooted there in a lot of people's minds, but the case could be made that Kareem is actually the best NBA player of all time. Dave, what do you think?
I disagree with those stats because you're assuming that Lou Alcindor and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, those stats are the same. But once you change your name, you start fresh. It's like a gamer tag in a video game. Like once you change your gamer tag, you start fresh with your stats. So I think you got to treat them as 2 separate players. Lou Alcindor is a guy, and he did all right. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar lost a bunch of stats because he played under a different name. So you can't combine the two. They're different people. I mean, they're different names anyway. So in the record books, I just feel like that should be reflected. So you got to take away his stats from Lou Alcindor, and that'll bump Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of the top 4 possibly. Don't you think?
No, Dave, I don't think you understand how a sports record is done, because that's actually not how they do it at all. If you go to any website, yeah. No, it's not.
All right, so like when Ron Artest changed his name to Meta World Peace, he started fresh.
He
started
fresh.
They started his stats over fresh. They're like, you are now Meta World Peace, and clean slate. That's what he wanted, was a clean slate.
Well, he started fresh. He had a clean slate. He turned a new leaf, and he was Meta World Peace. But all his stats carried over. Dave, this is
they did carry the stats carried. Okay, I'm learning something new. I didn't realize that stats carried over. I thought like when Muhammad Ali went through his name change, he lost his bouts.
No, that's not how it happened. Dave, I'm moving on to number 3. Now, do you want to guess who I got here at number 3?
Yeah, now I'm going to guess Magic Johnson.
There you go. Nailed it. Okay, Magic Johnson, one of Michigan's finest. He played 13 seasons for the Lakers. He averaged 19.5 points, 11.2 assists, and 7.2 rebounds in 906 regular season games. He was an All-Star 11 times. He won the MVP 3 times, and he won Finals MVP 3 times as well. The man is a legend. That's what's so crazy, is that they've got so many legendary players who have played for that franchise that it's really crazy to put Magic Johnson at number 3 on this list. Some people might even make the case that LeBron and Kareem are not even number 1 and 2. So that might even bump Magic Johnson down in their eyes. How do you feel about that, Dave?
I agree with that. I'm already kind of like looking forward here, trying to think about number 4, and I've got an idea. I've got an idea of who number 4 should be, but I also think that maybe you might be throwing us a curveball here. Can I guess number 4?
You want to get to number 4? Go for it.
I kind of know how you feel about somebody who should be number 4, and so I'm going to bump them to number 5, knowing what I know about how you view this person. I'm going to say James Worthy at number 4.
No James Worthy. James Worthy is an honorable mention. Now, he was great. The thing with James Worthy is that he played with so many different all-stars and legend players that if he were on his own team, he could have put up even bigger numbers. But because he's surrounded by the talent that he was, then he got lost in that mix a little bit. Obviously, still helped them win championships and still became a NBA Hall of Famer. But no, I do not have James Worthy. Do you want another guess?
Yeah, my next guess has to be. Well, geez, man, I'm overthinking it. I don't think you're gonna put Kobe at number 4. I'm thinking you're gonna put Shaq at number 4.
Dave, I in fact have the big man Shaquille O'Neal at number 4. Yeah, I do. I've got Shaq in there. He averaged almost 24 points, 11 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 2.3 blocks. The man could defend as well. He played 1,207 regular season games. He was an All-Star 15 times, Rookie of the Year. He won the Finals MVP
let me just
times.
How many times did Shaq win Rookie of the Year?
He just won it once.
So, I mean, I feel like you can't, I mean, like he only won it one time. If he was so good, he only won it one time. What does that say?
That's true, but no, that's the thing with that record is nobody's repeated or ever gotten 2.
I bet you if LeBron won Rookie of the Year twice, people would still hate him.
They would definitely still hate him. Yeah, I don't know how he'd win. Maybe for Bronny. But yeah, I've got Shaq in at number 4. How do you feel about that, Dave?
I feel like people are going to be coming after you with like pitchforks and torches because you left Kobe Bryant out of the top 4 Lakers of all time. It's crazy talk for you to snub him like this.
Okay,
I think
Dave.
if Kobe was still around today and he knew about this video, he would come over your house and kick your ass in a game of basketball.
but he's not going to. Dave, I'm going to tell you who I got at. If we were doing a fifth spot, then I'm going to tell you who I have there. They're really honorable mentions because it's a top 4.
Okay, so number 5 is Paul Gasol.
No, he's an honorable mention as well. Man, that guy he's an NBA Hall of Famer as well. That's what I'm saying. He might be the best player who's ever played for the Memphis Grizzlies franchise.
He's not in the Hall of Fame though.
Oh, he'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
You think he will for sure be a lock?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt.
Vlade Divac. Is he your number 5?
Of course. No, he's not. Oh, but he did play for the Lakers. No, Dave. I've got the one and only Jerry West. Now, Jerry West could do it all. That guy was
you got Jerry West in there before Kobe. Okay, I can see that, but still.
He played 14 seasons for the Lakers. He averaged 27 points, 6.7 assists, and almost 6 rebounds. He had 2.5 steals per season in 932 games. He was an all-star 14 times, won finals MVP, and was the NBA champion on that team, of course. Jerry West was a beast, man. If you don't have Jerry West, it was hard because I almost put him at number 4.
Yeah, there's lots of honorable mentions in there. I would imagine James Worthy's a top 10. He played his entire career with the Lakers, so that's got to mean something.
Yeah. Okay, Dave, we're going to wrap this baby up, but let me tell you
one point. I'm sorry that Jerry West could have been even better, although he was a successful Laker. He did spend a lot of his time in Hollywood. He was actually Batman. A lot of people don't know that. And if he hadn't focused so much of his time on Batman, he probably could have been even more successful as a basketball player.
Probably. Dave, I'm going to give you a couple more of those honorable mentions right here. We've got the one and only, can't forget this guy. It's taken way too long to finally get to him. Talk about the one and only Wilt Chamberlain. He played 14 seasons for the Lakers, Warriors, and Sixers. He averaged 30 points, 23 rebounds, and 4.5 assists in 1,045 games. He was an all-star 13 times. He won the MVP award 4 times. He was a finals MVP. And he won 2 NBA championships, Dave. Wilt Chamberlain, if he were there today, if he were in the NBA, he would dominate. The thing that really stopped him was his competitive edge. Now, it might have been good, but compared to like Bill Russell, who beat him just over and over and over again, that guy was relentless. So that's the one knock on Wilt Chamberlain, but he was a great player.
Wilt Chamberlain's drive to compete in the NBA was not as strong as his sex drive. And so if they had been reversed, he would have been more successful. But let me I got to ask for a summary here. Where does Kobe Bryant fall on the top Lakers of all time then? At what number?
I don't have him in a number. He's in the honorable mentions. And actually, I'm going to get to him right now, Dave. I think that's a really good segue. He averaged 25. Kobe Bryant played for the Lakers from the mid to late 90s into the 2000s. He averaged 25 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 4.7 assists in 1,346 regular season games. He was an all-star 18 times, and he won 5 NBA championships with 2 finals MVP awards. The guy's a great legendary player, of course. He was really good, really good.
But doesn't crack the top 6.
Dave, I didn't say he didn't crack the top 6. I did insinuate that Jerry West might be the 5th position right there. But, all I'm going to say, I don't want to
All right. So the honorable mentions are in no particular order. So when you summarize this, it's going to be, your top 4. Then you're going to have your honorable mentions then. And Kobe Bryant is an honorable mention.
It's like kind of like a loose order, kind of like vaguely the order that I gave, but like don't hold me to it. I also have Elgin Baylor on the list. Now, he played 14 seasons with the Lakers. He averaged 27.4 points, 13.5 rebounds, 4.3 assists, which again, for a big man is a lot. And he played in 846 regular season games. He played in the All-Star game 11 times. He's also been awarded the Rookie of the Year award. He only won it once, though.
He only won it one time. Okay.
Only won it once. So that's it. I like you said, I got James Worthy in there, got Paul Gasol, got Russell Westbrook. So there are a lot of great players. I definitely want to throw Russell Westbrook in there because he was an MVP of the league. So, him, Kobe, the guys who aren't going to make the top 4, but you are on like pretty similar footings right there. So,
okay. That's a respectable list, although I feel like a lot of people are going to be super upset. I just can't wait to see the hundreds of comments defending Kobe Bryant and bashing you personally, Alex Becker of Michigan, with that choice. But I think, hey, you brought up some good points to defend why you came up with that list. So kudos to you for being strong-willed and having like a super unique position that nobody else would agree with.
it just takes having courage, Dave, and speaking your mind and doing what's right and not being biased. Do you know what I mean? Having no bias.
Okay, I see that. I feel like you are very biased against Kobe Bryant, but we can talk about that another time. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for joining another episode of the Four Birdies podcast. If you have not already, make sure you hit that little thumbs up button and then drag your little mouse over to the button that says subscribe. And if you do that, that'd be great for us. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Okay,
another episode of Four Birdies.